Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's time for us to talk about what palette or palettes I'm going to pan for the 2018 year. I have been going like back and forth and feel myself being tugged a few different ways, so I really want you guys to help weigh in and help me decide which palette or palettes I should try to pan for 2018. I'll go ahead and start with the ones that I think are most like realistic to do for a project. And essentially, my first option that I'm toying with is to try to pan these two palettes. This is the Steal It in the Moment. You guys have probably seen me working with this and playing with this throughout my 2017 challenge. I'm currently like panning this lid color. So when we're talking about 2018, we're essentially talking about these like 6 shades. But if I'm being honest, I feel like I only really want to pan these 3 and like maybe just hit pan on these 3. Like I'm not super sold on the textures of these 3 shadows. I've already like depotted 2 of them and thrown them away, and I just feel like I don't know if this is a palette that I shouldn't dedicate myself to entirely because I don't fully love it, and so is it the best use of my time? Or if I should force myself to pan it because I'm not sure I'll ever come to it otherwise. The same thing goes with this Champagne Dreams eyeshadow palette from Lorac. I got this super cheap at Ulta, but I have to say, I don't feel that this is the same quality of Lorac's eyeshadows as I have in my like Lorac Pro palette. I panned this shadow during the year and I have made like a good dent on this pink one, but this shadow in particular I feel like doesn't last all day on my lid, and the other ones I'm kind of just like, I've got a lot of those particular colors, so I feel like I'm kind of on the fence with both of these palettes in the sense of like, do I want to pan them, declutter them? Like, I don't really know where I stand on these, but I don't know if I should just use that as motivation to work through them. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on whether or not you'd like to see me or think I should pan these 2 palettes as my 2018 selection. My other 3 choices are also kind of really crazy, but I'm thinking of trying to quote unquote pan basically a brand new palette. I don't necessarily think I could pan a brand new palette, so to speak, but I'm really curious to see how far I could actually get on a palette that's relatively new. There are 2 palettes in my collection that are relatively new to me, and one that I've had a while but haven't really wanted to play with, that I've been really, for all 3 of them, drawn to them and been wanting to use them. So we'll go ahead and show them to you, and I'd be curious again to hear your thoughts on whether I should try a pan that palette with something that I've not gotten a lot of use out of. The first one that I have is from the Cargo Holiday Collection. It's the Cargo Emerald City eyeshadow palette. I really like Cargo eyeshadows. This is my second palette from them. The other one that I have was like the Summer in the City palette, I think. And you can see, like, I have done some usage with these shadows. I feel like this leans relatively neutral. Like, there are a lot of light shades here that I would definitely probably pan with lid colors, but then there are some like deeper shadows here that I feel like even in the spring and fall and winter I could get some wear out of. So I'd be curious to definitely play with this. I would definitely pull in some other lid colors because you guys know I love lid colors. So I don't think I would hate trying to work through or at least see how far I could get with this particular palette. So that's my second option. My third option might feel a little bit crazy, and that is the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. This is a palette that I had to conscientiously tell myself to stop using. I wanted to use this more than my Maybelline The Blush Nudes. Like when I look at this first row here, these could all easily be like go-to lid and crease colors. These 2 could easily be lid colors for me. There could be like some fun pops of color that I would probably never pan, but could maybe definitely hit pan onto these 2 down here. But I don't know if this would be boring because it's been such a popular, like in your face, all over YouTube palette to see someone try to actually pan it. Slash like the pans in here are huge. There's a lot of product in this palette. So it may not even be feasible for me to hit pan on a single shadow. So like, would that be boring to see and witness? I don't know. Be curious on your thoughts. And then lastly, not a new to me palette, but not one that I was really into like when I first got, and that is the Lorac Mega Pro. This is a like YouTube made me buy it palette. This is when I was first getting into Lorac shadows, and I really liked a lot of the shades in here, but it was a little overwhelming at first to look at this and think like, how could I create looks with this palette? But I'm gonna be honest, like looking at this vertically, this row, and this row, I would definitely get a lot of use out of. I could also see myself pulling in like a lot of these pops of color, and I really have been drawn to this a lot this year. I did my eye makeup look for my engagement photos from this. This definitely could be a palette that I could use like on my wedding day if I end up doing my own makeup. Still haven't decided if I'm gonna do that or not, but I like really think that I could also hit pan on a lot of these because they're not super big, and if I'm using them in a most dedicated fashion, I feel like I could get a lot of use out of that particular palette. So two very different paths I could take for 2018. These would be reasonable. I probably could hit pan or pan them entirely, but maybe not enjoy it as much. These three, I feel like I would have fun using all throughout the year, any one of them, but like maybe would or wouldn't hit a lot of pan or pan a lot of the shadows. So I would just really be curious to hear from you guys. If you could just leave me a comment down below offering me any like insight or advice for how to select this, because I'm like genuinely at a point where I just don't know what one to pick and what path to go down, and so I definitely want to hear from some other people and get some other feedback. But that is it for me. Once I make my selection, I will definitely film my intro video, and I look forward to hearing from you guys and getting all of your help and support with this relatively big decision. But I'll talk to you guys in the next video real soon. Bye.